Hey YouTube, welcome back to Dwayne's World. So has it hit the 80s and the 90s for you? Well, if it has, now's the time to push. You want to know what I'm talking about? You better stay tuned. All right, so welcome back to Season 2, Episode 18. Here on Dwayne's World. So I have to say, the response on the mower comparison video has been nothing short but phenomenal. There was a lot of people that absolutely agreed with me. However, there was a lot of people that actually said the True Cut was their number one. And I can completely understand why somebody would have chose that mower. I absolutely love the True Cut. In fact, every single one of the mowers I had in the comparison video, I am absolutely a fan of. So regardless of where you were to rate them, 1, 2, 3, or 4, any one of those mowers does a phenomenal job, and I think anybody that picks up one of those mowers is going to be happy with their choice. All right, so one of the things I just wanted to do also in this video is I want to give you guys a shot of some of the trees that I have in my lawn. Now, yes, I know, this is not a tree channel. Yes, we are all about the Bermuda, and yes, we're all about real mowers. However, one of the things that Bermuda absolutely hates is shade. So we're going to kill two birds with one stone, and what I mean by that is we're going to thin out some trees that I want to show you, but there's also a couple of them that just need to go. So with that, let me go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, so as you guys can see here, this tree is extremely overgrown at this point. So I have a tree guy, his name is Jose. He's going to come on over and he's going to help me trim this tree back, really prune it, thin it out, and I'm sure it's going to look so much better after he's done with it. The other tree that I need to address is I have two of them in my yard here. And as you can see here, this tree here is not doing well. It really kind of died off last season. Wasn't sure if it was going to come back this season, but this tree is absolutely dead. So this tree needs to go. One other tree I'm going to be taking out is actually this one right here as well. Now there is some green foliage, but this tree definitely has seen its better days. Rather than try to figure out what's wrong with it, it may never come back really the way it's supposed to. So therefore, I'm just going to go ahead and take it out. And I think it's going to help a lot of that dormant area underneath the tree there that tends to get a lot of shade. So by removing this tree, it's absolutely going to help the Bermuda there. This one here I'm going to kind of take a look at. It's not as big as the other plum tree that I first showed you guys, but I may go ahead and thin that out as well because again, it will help out some of that shaded area underneath the tree. All right, so Dwayne, you talked about a push. What are you referring to? Well, what I mean is now, because of the temperatures being in the 80s and 90s in most parts of the country, we really should be pushing our lawns to really get to that full green up that I know we all love. That way our Bermuda is looking 100% on point. So the way I'm going to do that is by feeding it. You want to know what I'm going to feed it? Well, you're going to have to keep watching in the video because, as always, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a mow in. So with that, let me show you guys what mower I'm going to be using. All right, so this will be using today to take care of our mow job on the backyard. It's the 25-inch Mclane Greenskeeper commercial greens mower. It does have a 10-blade reel, a Mclane front groove roller. It is slightly similar to the Greenskeeper model of today. However, there is definitely some differences that you can see here. The main difference mainly is going to be the drive system. The drive system and reel are controlled somewhat by a gearbox with pulleys and chains that are underneath this black box here. But probably one of the biggest differences is the fact that it has no drop wheel. It has a series of tires that act as a rear roller. Now, I do love this Mclane. However, because a lot of the parts now are now discontinued, if something were to break, it would definitely be difficult to repair. So that's why I do not use it as often as I do my other mowers. So with that, let's go ahead and get into our mow. right, so let me kind of just jump in here in the middle of the mow. You know, I was debating on whether or not to put the 25-inch, greenskeeper in the Mclane comparison, just because of the fact that there is a greenskeeper model available today, even though it's not necessarily the one I have. But I ultimately decided against it just because of the fact that you cannot buy it new. You can't even buy it used, really. I mean, yeah, you may be able to find one, but they're rare. So because of that, and also the lack of available replacement parts, makes it a very difficult mower to compare to another mower that you can buy all the parts and you can buy brand new today. So that's why ultimately I decided not to put it in the comparison video. Because some people have asked me about that, is why didn't I include that mower, since it is a mower I do use. So I just wanted to be able to shed a little light on that and explain why I chose not to add that to the 4 mower comparison. All right, so with that, let's get back to the mow. So before I go ahead and show you guys what it looks like, I have to break out the rotary scissors and clean up those edges. So Dwayne, why don't you use your power rotary scissors to edge? Well, the reason why I don't is because of the fact that the power rotary scissors eventually will have to be sharpened. And I figured I have an edger. It's much cheaper and much easier to replace the blade on an edger than it would be to even sharpen or have to replace the blades on the rotary scissors. So that's why I really kind of leave the rotary scissors really for just cutting grass. I don't really want to get into the concrete or nick anything, and that's why I do what I do. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what the lawn looks like. Oh yeah, absolutely looking great. Let me explain to you why you're seeing double stripes. All right, so the stripes that you're seeing that are going this way in the same direction as the mower are the ones that I laid down today. The stripes that you're looking at in this direction actually came from about 3 days ago when I used my GM 1000 to lay down those stripes. Either way, it definitely formed a really nice checkerboard, and it's looking on point. All right, so it's Anderson's time now. So let's go ahead and show you guys what type of fertilizer I'm gonna be using. All right, so this is what we're gonna use today. This is Anderson's 24011 fertilizer. You know, this definitely has a higher nitrogen rating than the Anderson's PGF Complete. However, this does not have humic acid. But this is going to definitely give my lawn a nice kick. This is probably going to be the only granular I'll use for the next 30 days, just because of the fact that the nitrogen is going to be able to feed my lawn for at least a month. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and load up the hopper and go ahead and spread that fertilizer. All right, so this is what we'll be using today to throw down fertilizer. This is the Anderson's SR2000 spreader. Absolutely love this spreader, mainly because of the pneumatic tires and the really smooth ride. The handlebars are also ride in a really nice position, which I definitely appreciate. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the fertilizer. The Pro size is a little bit larger than the PGF Complete. I did use this fertilizer once last year and was really happy with the results. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of the bag. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and throw it down. right, so let me just jump in here for a minute. Some people may ask, well, Dwayne, 24011, isn't that a really, really strong fertilizer? Aren't you worried that you're gonna burn your lawn? No, and the reason why is because even at the rate I was putting it down, it was probably only about 7/10 of a pound of nitrogen. Really, you wanna feed your Bermuda lawn during the growing season 1 pound of nitrogen per month. So whether or not you decide to do that in 1 feeding, in 2 feedings, it's ultimately up to you. But no, a 24011 is actually a really good formulation. All right, so with that, back to the feeding. By no means is this a sponsored video, but I absolutely love the products from Anderson. There hasn't been any product that I've tried of theirs to date that I haven't really fell in love with. So if you're looking for a good quality fertilizer, good quality anything, you know, I would say look up Anderson's, because they definitely have a great array of products that you can choose from that really get your lawn looking the way you really want it to look. All right, so my tree guy came over and he knocked it all out. Did a great job, did it quickly, and really left behind really an awesome result. So let me show you guys, as he was cutting down some of these trees, as well as kind of the after shot of what everything looks like now. Guys, as you can see, that tree is out. Definitely gonna open up this area. All right, so if you guys take a look here, this tree has absolutely been thinned out, which is really, really great, because now it's going to provide a lot more sunlight into the grass below. Absolutely looks phenomenal. Now, as you guys may remember, on this side here, it's now gone, but there used to be a tree. So as you guys can see, all that's left is the stump. He cut it down as about as low as he can go, but there's some things we can do to be able to take care of the rest of that stump tree. Let me go and take you over to the other side of the yard. All right, as you guys can see here, all that's left, just like with the other tree, is the stump. Now, I'm extremely excited about this part of the lawn, because over here, as you guys can see, there's still a lot of area that has to be filled in. And this tree that I had before was really the source of why this area really wouldn't fill in. However, now with that tree gone, it is absolutely going to make a difference. All right, so with this tree, I also had Jose thin it out, similar to the plum tree that was on the other side in my first shot. But now, again, just like with the other tree, it's really helped be able to bring a lot more sunlight down here into the soil, where the Bermuda hopefully will take off. Now, this is a pretty big area, so because it's such a big bare area, it's going to take a while. In fact, what I'll probably do is plug the area so that way all the turf matches. You absolutely do not want to overseed this with more Bermuda or add more sod, because it just will not match. All right, so the reason why I wanted to really show you guys that bonus content is because these are some of the struggles that we find as Bermuda owners. You know, we wonder why our Bermuda is not thriving in certain areas. And the number one thing that really hurts our Bermuda is the lack of sunlight. So if you're having some problems in your lawn that you may think are related, it's probably one of the first things you want to look at is whether or not you have enough sun for your Bermuda grass. All right, so I want to thank you guys for stopping by and watching season 2, episode 18 here on Dwayne's World today. You know, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you comment down below, I will respond to every single one of my comments. Send me an email, which you'll find in the description below, as well as subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content. And with that, as always, be excellent and party on.